to a special edition of Want to Take AP Language and Composition?
So, want to take AP Language and Composition? To do that, you'll need to be able to analyze both language and composition.
It'll take more than an extreme passion for nonfiction writing to do that.
You'll need to analyze the text using
rhetorical vocabulary.
One example of rhetorical vocabulary is the rhetorical question, which is posed not to get a verbal response, but to make the reader think about the answer or to set the speaker up to answer it himself.
So Rachel, what's a rhetorical question?
Did you really just ask me what a rhetorical question is? See, I used a rhetorical question to make my audience consider whether her question was really necessary.
The audience is the person or group of people that the speaker, author, or writer is directing his or her message to. An example of audience is Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech.
I have a dream!
His audience would be white men and civil rights activists.
An aphorism is an observation that contains a general truth. Ben Franklin made many aphorisms, one of which is,
"Beware of little expenses. A small leak will sink a great ship."
an example of how to use aphorism in a rhetorical analysis would be, the author uses various aphorisms to give the reader advice based on his past experiences.
A paradox is a contradiction that doesn't make sense on the surface, but has a deeper meaning. An example of a paradox is in Romeo and Juliet, when Juliet says,
My only love sprung from my only hate.
Shakespeare uses the conflicting ideas in the paradox to show Juliet's conflicting emotions.
A description identifies certain traits or characteristics of an object, person, place, or thing. A description of Holden Caulfield in The Catcher in the Rye would be negative or aloof.
Phony.
The description of Holden Caulfield makes him appear vivid to the readers.
Antithesis is two opposite ideas in one sentence.
Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
John F. Kennedy used antithesis in his inaugural address to get people to realize that they have to break the status quo and do as Kennedy says.
Process analysis is when you examine the steps in doing something. Josh, you're a cook, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever read a recipe?
Yeah.
Then you've experienced process analysis.
Woo!
The author of a recipe uses process analysis in order to help the audience understand how to prepare the food.
Woo woo! Whoa.
Ethos is an author's mention or reference to his or her personal history or ethics to appeal to his or her audience.
I'm Robert F. Kennedy, and I have a brother.
RFK uses ethos to connect with his audience.
A theme is the main, broad idea of a work. One example of a theme would be the Scarlet Letter, where a theme is civilization versus nature. The various themes in the Scarlet Letter allow the reader to take back a moral component to the story, rather than just entertainment.
Sarcasm is stating something in a bitter, mocking, or insincere way in order to convey resentment for the subject.
Come on to speak at Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious. Brutus is an honorable man.
In Julius Caesar, Antony uses sarcasm when describing Brutus to show that Brutus was an enemy, where Caesar was not.
Sequence is the order in which events are told. The sequence of events in The Catcher in the Rye are chronological. This shows how Holden grows and transitions every day.
Ambiguity is when something is unclear or has multiple meanings. There is ambiguity in Romeo and Juliet when Mercutio is about to die and says,
Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man.
There's ambiguity in the fact that the word grave implies both death and sadness. Now you're strong enough to take AP Language and Composition.
Now you're sharp enough to take AP Language and Composition.
Now you're powerful enough to take AP Language and Composition. So you want to take, wait, I thought we were,
A small leak will sink a great ship. To do that, you'll be able,
The author uses aphorisms to relate to the reader.
the description of Holden Caulfield makes the readers
That. Yeah, that.
Sounds like gibberish.
the description of Holden Caulfield. What am I saying?
A theme is the main, broad idea of a work.
But Brutus says he's ambitious. Brutal. Brutal.
Two opposite ideas at once.
In Julius Caesar, sorry, I just made like the weirdest face because the bug was in front of me.
okay.
Two opposite ideas in one sentence. So, you want to take AP Language and Composition?
No.